Hey beautiful humans, I'm coming at you today to chat about self-worth. I think it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but I have a few bits of wisdom that I want to share with you just about my own journey and what I'm currently doing to retain my level of self-worth. And I think it's really, really important that we have this conversation, because nowadays I certainly didn't have this kind of pushback when I was growing up. This is all quite, different. We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook, but now we have a lot more out there that rattles and shakes our relationship with our self-worth, and it certainly distracts us from our work of reclaiming that relationship with ourselves. Okay, so self-worth to me is sort of this ability to let life pass you by without feeling like you're missing out on something, or feeling like you need to change who you are to align with your environment or the people around you or what you're seeing. Okay, so something I challenge a lot of my people to do is to unfollow people on social media who do not make them feel good about themselves. If they have even the slightest thought that perhaps maybe they're missing something, or they need to change who they are, or in any way, shape or form make them doubt themselves, I ask them to unfollow them. Okay, because guess what? You have to live your life, nobody else. Okay, you're the one that has to walk through your world and contend with those thoughts. Okay, and it's tough. I want to acknowledge that it's certainly tough. And when we're trying to reclaim our power, when we're trying to reclaim that relationship with ourselves, that deep self-worth, that we, that ability to stay true to who we are, despite the myriad of things going on around us that shake and rattle that relationship, it's hard work. Okay, it's really hard work. And if it goes unchecked, okay, if we are allowing that to happen, that's when we start to lose ourselves. That's when we start to feel anxious and unsure and stuck and unsure if we need to change our jobs, or just, we're in crisis mode, right? So I think the most powerful thing we can do is to check ourselves every week. Okay, check that self-worth monitor. Okay, check in with yourself and set your intention. Okay, what is it that you need to reclaim your power? Okay, in what environments, what circles, what circumstances, what experiences, okay, that need a revamp. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you've showed up differently in these spaces before. It does not matter if in the past you have copped it and you've said nothing and you've just popped your head down and carried on with your life. It doesn't matter how you've behaved before. Okay, what matters is that what you do next aligns with what you want, who you are, and what you believe in. Okay, because when we come from a space of self-worth, our decision-making process changes. Okay, it's easier to make decisions because we are certain, we are more certain. Okay, because we make those decisions with this degree of certainty, because on some level it aligns with who we are, and we think less about how it's going to negatively impact us or other people, or sort of all the things that could go wrong. We just think about what it is that we need, how that's going to support us and others, and we act from that place, and it makes that process a lot easier. It also allows us to inspire other people, because it's not easy to be yourself. Okay, I speak from experience. I've struggled with this pretty much my whole life, except for maybe the last 5 or 6 years. Okay, being who you are gives permission for others to be themselves too. And that's so powerful, because we need people to be who they are and who they want to be in the world. Okay, we don't need people being like everybody else. Okay, innovation, creativity, all that comes from the permission and the ability to just stand true to who you are and respond from that space, right? So self-worth is pretty vital. It's critical, okay? It's critical to our existence. It's critical to how we are in the world, our experience in the world. And it's something I'm feeling pretty passionate about this week, because it's something that I've learned in business, especially having built a business from the ground up, a very successful business from the ground up. When I first opened, I would be so critical of myself and so afraid of failing, and man, I was just so afraid of doing it wrong, and I would judge myself very harshly, and I was more worried about what others would think if I was failing. And I was looking at my competition, and you know, I was saying, why aren't I there yet? And I wasn't being realistic about my own expectations. But I let that go unchecked for a fair while, and for the first 6 to 8 months I was acting from a space of scarcity and fear, and it was awful. You know, when you're in fear mode, scarcity mode, your actions, okay, your creativity dies, by the way. Your actions are fear-based, okay, and you are standoffish, okay, you hold back your potential, okay, you don't unleash to your full potential because you're afraid of how that's going to be received, and that is horrible. Should be illegal, right? It takes time, and that's why this work is so important, and it is only work that you can do. But I've been there, and if I can do it, I know you can do it too. Okay, but when I stepped into my power and I reclaimed that relationship, I really owned not just myself, but my business. And let's face it, they're the same thing. And like, this is what I'm doing. It's different, yes. Okay, we're not just a gym. We're not just, you know, just come here and smash the weights and go hard or go home. That's not who we are, and that's different, okay? That's new in our town, right? It's completely different. We're mind and body. So we're talking about mindset coaching, we're talking about mentoring, we're talking about community, okay? And so much more than that. And once I really stepped into that space and really owned it, not only owned it, but I honored it. I honored that, where that came from, how that rose up in my body, how that felt when I made that decision to create that space, not just for myself, but for hundreds of other women. Okay, I connected back to that, I stepped into it, and I owned the shit out of it. What do you guys think happened? My creativity soared. Okay, I was able to show up in spaces like this without a care in the world. Like, my intention is to help. My intention is to contribute. My intention is to expand and grow and inspire and empower and educate, right? There is no harm in that. And that's a good thing, right? So when you really step into that space, it's almost, we don't ever want to sort of be untouchable, because that feedback and being able to receive that feedback is critical. Okay, we want to know that if we're on the wrong path, or if we're, you know, doing the wrong thing, it's not a bad thing, but it gives us the opportunity to redirect and get back on course, right? So we don't want to be untouchable, but it does certainly give us this confidence and reassurance that we're going to be okay no matter what happens, okay? I used to get severe anxiety if I put something out, right? If I put a video out, I'm like, oh my God, like I would have heart palpitations, I would get sweaty, and I would fear what might happen. Okay, and that is not a space that I ever want to live in again, and it is a space that I'm working really, really hard to bring so many people up and out of. So today is your permission. I want to see what you can do, and I want you to prove to yourself that you can, and I know you can. All you have to do is look for proof of it in your life. Okay, if you see it in me, if you see self-worth and confidence in how I hold myself, that means you only see it because it's in you too, okay? And I know there are times in your life where you have done this already. Go and look for them, all right? And you will find that you're already made of the magic that you need to do this work.